All right, let's get into this thing you sent over here. You said we needed a lot of time for this.
All right.
Apparently, is he currently still with Life of Agony?
Life of Agony is back, and they are putting out a new album in, I believe, March.
Okay, so is formerly Keith Caputo still the lead vocalist?
He is the lead vocalist.
Okay.
Although he goes by a woman's name now.
I understand. I said formerly.
Yeah.
Keith Caputo, if you're not aware, took the Marcy free route, the Mark free route.
Right.
And he or she or whatever it is now goes by Mina Caputo.
Right.
Mina.
Yep.
Why Mina of all names?
I don't know. Before any of this came up, I've had the chance to interview Keith several times. The last time being in about what it would have been 99 or 2000, whatever the album that had weeds on it was.
Mm-hmm.
Searching Sun was the last time I've interviewed him, but I also met him and hung out with him in Life of Agony. We did an extreme session with them, like one of those acoustic things that we used to do in when they were out with the Broken Valley record. So that was like 2003 or 4.
Okay.
So I've encountered Keith several times. He's a weird cat, man. I mean, he always came off as a bit odd. Not gay odd, but just odd. You know? And it's like, here, what I got out of this interview, this was on our friend Josh, the Talk To Me podcast. Dude is like all the way over odd now. He's just like, all right, fuck it. And the reason I wanted you to leave plenty of time for this is because Josh, and I'll give him plenty of credit for this, he really went for it with all the gay stuff.
Okay.
And the transgender stuff and whatnot. And while Josh is definitely a lot nicer than you or I might be, this dude went, if you ever, well, I'll put it this way. I will be interested to know if you think that this dude, chick, whatever, is sane at the end of hearing these clips.
Okay.
And you saw him. I left longer clips, so it's not little sound bites that alter anything. It's like his full statements on each thing.
All right.
He's an odd soul.
All right. Well, I don't think that we've ever played Life of Agony on this show.
Okay.
I was introduced to Life of Agony to know who they were when I started working at WSTB.
Right, sure.
Because they used to play Life of Agony on there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did their normal format,
yeah,
I used to get a lot of requests for Life of Agony.
Sure. They were a popular band for a minute. They
were. And I didn't know anything about them until I started working at that, at the radio station.
Sure.
Now, what was there? I'm trying to think of the name of the album that came out. It was
River Runs Red.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
I'm a huge fan of this band, by the way. I love them.
River Runs Red was probably the most popular release that people would request songs from.
People loved the first two. They loved River Runs Red. They loved Ugly, which was the second record.
Sure.
And then they started getting weird with Soul Searching Sun. Then they did Broken Valley after like some time away. And then they broke up for a long time until now. I guess they needed some cash, so they got back together.
Okay.
And now I forget the new.
Did they have a replacement singer at one point?
They did. Whitfield Crane of Ugly Kid Joe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I saw those shows. They never released a record with him, but they toured it. They toured with Anthrax, and I saw that show, Life of Agony with Anthrax, and it was good.
Okay.
Whit did a great job. It was good stuff.
Let's see here. I wanted to play just a little snippet of a River Runs Red song.
The river runs red.
Let me play it.
All right. That's the goods there. I love that.
It just dawned on me what I remember about the 90s music that I didn't like.
Downtune?
No, there was no separation in the instruments.
Oh, yeah.
It was all like blended together, and it just was like, the guitars and the bass and everything was just all blended together almost at the same level, and there was no separation in the tone.
It was the era of 2D production.
Yeah, and it just sounded like just a mash of just, all of it together. And I was just like, well, where's the dynamics?
Right.
There were no dynamics at all. There were no highs. There was no lows. There was no separation in the guitars. There was no distinctive drumming or bassist or nothing. It was just all one level of noise.
Well, it got rid of the 90s was the era of 90s, and even most of the 2000s were the era where they just got rid of instrumentalists shining. And, there are no George Lynch's, there are no Eddie Van Halen's, there are no, pick a guitar, Yngwies, there are no Neil Peart's, there are no, Mike Portnoy's from that era. It was just a bunch of bands that were just, collectively okay. I mean, some were better than others. I personally love Life of Agony, but I agree with you on that assessment. They're not, there's not one single song of theirs where you reach in and go, man, that fucking guitar part rips.
Yeah, exactly. Because nothing stood out.
Right.
Nothing. Mm-hmm. It was just blended into one level of stream. And it was just like, well, I don't hear any separation in there at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And just listen, because it's been a long time since I've heard Life of Agony.
Sure.
I probably haven't heard Life of Agony in probably 15 years, literally.
Since you left WSTV.
You're probably right. So listening to that just kind of transported me back in time when I first heard them and realized what I was listening to. And it's like, I'm not hearing anything that stands out here for me.
Yeah, I love it. But you know me, I love everything.
Sure.
There's not really much music I don't like, but Life of Agony, definitely a favorite of mine.
Sure. All right. Well, on the Talk to Me podcast, formerly Keith Caputo, now Mina Caputo, who now is he full transgender, or is he just has he had the surgery or not, or what?
I don't know. I don't know if he got the cock cut off or not, but is definitely doing the hormones and doing that part of it. So I don't know. I mean, from what he says in this interview, he's in the process, whatever that means. But he also says he's been going through it for 9 years. So I don't even know what the fuck that means.
All right.
I mean, and it's funny because Josh even asked him, and he didn't, and then he went off. You'll get it once you start playing these clips.
All right.
The dude is not. The focus of this guy is odd. Everything about him to me is odd. The energy. You know how when you talk to, it doesn't even have to be me. We know when you talk to somebody that you don't know and you get a vibe for them just based on talking to them. You know if they're aggressive or they're passive or they're, smart or dumb or what.
Sure.
You know how you, in 2 seconds, make that assessment?
Right. You kind of size them up a little bit.
Yeah. I sent you like 30 minutes of clip or 26 minutes of clip.
Okay.
But the whole thing was an hour and a half long. And I came out of the hour and a half plus having actual experience talking to this guy on 5-6 occasions myself. And I still have no clue how to read this guy.
All right.
None. So that should tell you why I thought this was quality to hear.
All right. Well, the first clip you sent over here, you entitled it, Sounds Like an Old Jewish Housewife.
Yeah, wait till you hear the speaking voice.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a little nosy. She's a good girl, though. She wants to talk. We always do our podcasts together.
Very cool. Yeah, she's more than welcome.
He's doing a video podcast with Josh, and he's talking about his dog that's with him in the podcast.
Oh, boy. Maybe we should introduce him to Frankie Manali.
Yeah, really. They can hold their puppies together.
Sure.
Be on the show too.
So Prime, are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready to go. We are recording.
Oh my God! Okay. How's Primer 55 doing? What are you doing with that?
I haven't played in Primer in 10 years almost. But
okay. Excuse me. I did a little research on you. I didn't know too much about you, to be honest, but I did check you out.
Well, I appreciate that.
My clan stalked you out to see if you were legit.
Well, hopefully I'm legit. Yeah, the Joey Z came on the podcast when I first started it a couple of years ago. So you've definitely been a bucket list guest to have on the show.
Thank you, and I like the mails that you've been sending me with your show.
You know. Not only does he sound like a Jewish housewife,
Yeah,
he sounds like Saul Rosenberg. Off the Joikey Boys. I have these boils on my ass.
they hurt so bad.
They hurt so bad. And then he hit me in the face and he knocked my glasses off and I fell down the stairs and my shoes fell off.
Dude, who compliments somebody on their fucking emails? Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Emails you sent me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
And all your guests and stuff like that. Thank you for that.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I just that was one of the things I wanted to do for 2017 was to kind of be more proactive in the email area.
Yeah, that's cool. That's nice. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for your kindness.
Yeah.
Just don't hit me in the head with a ratchet.
Or the shoulder, leg, or back area.
Will this podcast last very long? I have an appointment at my doctor to have a couple of boils on my ass lanced.
I have a bad hangnail and it hurts very badly.
Wow. Where is this Keith originally from? Where is he from? New York?
Brooklyn.
Okay,
there.
all right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
he definitely has that accent.
I'd say he's a Brooklyn guy, but now I guess I don't know.
All right.
There's Mina.
He definitely has that East Coast thing going on. That's for sure.
Carolina Cookie Cutter got the right picture.
I see that. Yep. It's Saul Rosenberg. Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
He's almost like what's that movie producer? What's his face? That was Mia Farrow.
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen.
Yeah.
He's like a Woody Allen guy.
Yep.
All right. This next one is called Domestic Mommy Life.
Yeah. This is again, he starts talking about his dog.
Oh my.
And he's talking about raising his dog.
Okay. So his child is his dog.
Oh, you'll hear.
All right.
How's your weekend been so far?
It's been good so far. It's I'm battling a cold, so I'm trying to not sound too nasally on my own.
So he basic. How did you get a hold of this audio where he's having this pre-interview chit chat?
Because it wasn't supposed to be pre-interview chit chat. Again, this is the difference between what Josh does and what we do. Is it's not like it's there's no intro, more or less. There's no hey, you're on the Talk to Me podcast. It's me.
Well, so he releases everything.
He released all that. Well, if I'd have left it together, you would get it. There was nowhere for him to start it because Mina Keith here just goes, and there's no. If I was to give Josh any advice at all, it would be, okay, dude, we're going to start now.
And that's what we do.
I know.
That's what I do. I mean, because with any time that, I do an interview, I'll have 2, maybe 3 minutes of yip yap with whomever it is and go, all right, well, let's get into this.
Right.
And then you start in and, then you edit that part out and then you just get into the song and the interview.
Well, that's our style, and he does his as more of a informal. I know I have a ton of interview tapes that sound like this, where back, especially the MBL days, when I was doing Music's Bottom Line, where I would just just kind of work in. Yeah, it's a different philosophy, I guess. It's a philosophy of getting them comfortable to getting them talking, and sometimes people are not necessarily comfortable, and this, dude, because we've had it happen ourselves. They're all comfortable when we're doing the pre thing, and then when we say, okay, we're starting, they fucking tense up.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen hardly ever, but yeah, I get it. But still.
It happens. This would be the guy I would think it would happen to. Honestly, and again, I don't know that that's why Josh just rolled like this. I mean, I've listened to many of his things, and most of them do not just kind of meander in like this. But my gut tells me from listening to it that there just wasn't a place. It turned into the discussion quickly.
Okay.
And so I think he was just kind of letting it roll, and then it quickly turned from, hi, how you doing, to, him talking about his transformation.
All right.
Like in a hurry. So I think he probably just didn't have a cut point and just let it roll.
Okay, I get it. All right. I just wouldn't have thought that he would leave the stuff in. How's the weather over there? And what's going on with you? And how's your day?
I know. And it's funny listening to it because it, again, doesn't sound like a rock guy at all. It sounds like an old lady.
Sure. I get it. Okay.
Podcast.
Oh, it's okay.
But how are you? Do you live up in Brooklyn or up in the New York area?
I'm in Brooklyn, yes. Back in Brooklyn, I should say, because I am kind of... Well, now that I have Tony, my dog, she's been with me. I had her since she's about 5 or 6 weeks old, and she's been with me now for almost... This summer she'll be 4. So ever since Tony's come into my life, my bohemian nomad ways have kind of subsided. So I don't travel and live in different cities as much as I used to. So I am back in Brooklyn, more domesticated than I have ever been in my entire life.
So a dog, a dog has more or less changed your whole way that you've lived life.
Well, yeah.
A dog
did, yes.
Okay. All right.
yeah, I'm a bit more stable when it comes to like my living situations. Otherwise, I'm like, I'm fucking a month in California.
Right.
I'm 2 months in Amsterdam. I'm 2 weeks in Berlin. But now that I have her, I'm enjoying my domestic mommy life.
There you go.
Domestic mommy life. To care for a dog.
Just hard to hear a guy, somebody that you've known as a guy for a while, talk about that they're now a domestic mommy. Ugh.
You throw some kibble in a bowl and make sure they have plenty of water to drink, and you're good. Wow.
Oh, we're just getting started, man.
All right.
These are the warm-ups.
Yeah, I can see that.
How's your weekend been so far?
It's been good so far. It's I'm battling a cold, so I'm trying.
How's your weekend been so far?
It's been good so far. It's I'm battling a cold, so I'm trying to not sound too nasally on my own podcast.
Oh, it's okay.
But how are you? Do you live up in Brooklyn or up in the New York area?
I'm in Brooklyn, yes. Back in Brooklyn, I should say, because I am kind of... Well, now that I have Tony, my dog, she's been with me. I had her since she's about 5 or 6 weeks old, and she's been with me now for almost... This summer she'll be 4. So ever since Tony's come into my life, my bohemian nomad ways have kind of subsided. So I don't travel and live in different cities as much as I used to. So I am back in Brooklyn, more domesticated than I have ever been in my entire life. So, yeah, I'm a bit more stable when it comes to like my living situations. Otherwise, I'm like, I'm fucking a month in California. I'm 2 months in Amsterdam. I'm 2 weeks in Berlin. But now that I have her, I'm enjoying my domestic mommy life.
There you go.
That was the whole thing?
For that segment. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I wouldn't have replayed that whole thing because my little counter didn't show it. That was on to the end. All right. The next one, it says, why do I want to wear a dress?
Yeah, this is where it starts getting good.
All right.
Here's the thing. He talks a lot about. It's very clear that by being a tranny here, that this is all he thinks about in his life is his transgendering.
Okay.
And Josh literally did not lead to this. Just starts going.
All right.
And doesn't stop.
All right.
It's very clear. And honestly, in my opinion only, it's also why most older straight guys are never going to get this.
All right.
Because none of us are obsessed with sexuality as much as I mean, we're all obsessed with tits and ass and whatever, but we also are obsessed with football and fucking, cars and other shit too.
Sure.
Where to me, and again, this is my observation only, it sounds like at least Keith is obsessed with his transformation into Mina.
Yeah. This is almost like Buffalo Bill on Silence of the Lambs. His obsession with becoming a woman.
Right. Oh, might be worse.
Mm-hmm. All right.
My son is I have a 2-year-old, and he already has a tablet that he can. It's the craziest thing in the world to watch a child. He can pick it up. He can log into it. He can go to Back's pages, go to everything. He scrolls through it. It's insanity watching him as a 2-year-old with any kind of technology, because he could just pick it up and immediately go through it. Find anything that you need.
And there's good and there's bad like that. Like,
stop right there, Neely. Now you heard what he just said, right?
Sure.
Did that in any way, shape, or form lead you to think, well, I need to talk about a gay topic now?
No, it just sounded like I don't know what they were talking about prior to this, but it just sounded like he was indicating that kids pick up on technology very quickly.
And that's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, even before that was just a little bit of tech. Wait till you hear this response.
All right.
Personally, for me, with my whole, at 10 years old, I wish I would have had a laptop at my fingertips, because I would have probably figured out what I was faced with and what I was being challenged with as a child. When I was growing up in the 70s, we had Atari,
Exactly.
we had ColecoVision. We didn't have Google or the internet to help, me figure out, Jesus, why do I want to wear girls' dresses, and why do I want to look pretty, and aren't I a boy, mommy, or what's going on with me, and can you dress me in this dress, and and I could have sussed out all these answers, all these unanswered questions I've been having like for a couple of decades growing up. I could have, figured out, or had the help to help figure out, what the fuck was going on with me when I was a kid, because I had no idea. And childhood for me was very confusing.
Oh, my son is
Right.
From my kid plays with a tablet.
Well, I almost can understand it. He went from, technology of today, and my kid, as young as they are, can navigate the internet. And he's just like, well, had we had the internet when I was a kid, I would have been looking this up.
Right. Well, but it goes to my point. It's the only thing.
Yeah, he's obsessed with it even to this day.
Yeah, he's doing an interview to promote his new record.
Right.
And he's taken the interviewer right to it.
Right.
Because that's all he thinks about.
Sure. That's what his whole life consists of.
Right.
All right. The next one here, it says homophobic grandparents.
Yeah, this is another good one.
All right. Let's check this out.
But is that something that you've kind of felt your whole life, what you've transitioned into over the last 9 years?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I think psychologically and theoretically speaking, I believe, this has been encoded in my highest self, or maybe I chose this. But yes, ever since I was a child, I thought maybe I was gay before I understood what sexuality was. Even though sexuality is a completely different thing from the whole gender or genderlessness experience, I didn't know how to map it out as a child. I had no help. And plus I had crazy, racist, homophobic grandparents that, I could never really express the depths of my confusion at the time. But yeah, it's something I've been going through my entire life, but was born and raised in a very stereotypical male dominator role, inheritance. And I was living a lie for a very long fucking time, and not expressing the true essence of my extraordinary being.
But is that something that you've kind of...
All right. Well, see that goes back to where people who have these issues, however you want to term it.
Mm-hmm.
They think that because they're quote unquote, or they believe that they're different, that they're somehow exceptional.
Yes, very true.
That, well, I was born a male, but I want to be a female, but I have these, thoughts and issues and this and that makes me exceptional.
Right.
And the thing is, and here's something I've always had an issue with.
Yeah.
If you have a belief system that maybe you don't agree with the homosexual lifestyle.
Okay.
Does that make you a homophobe? See, the thing is that this is a direct attack on somebody's values to say, well, if you don't agree with the way that I see things, you're some kind of a phobe of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, but that's, that is the way of the 2017 snowflake.
Mm-hmm.
Is that is a truism, because you're not supposed to tolerate anything. You're supposed to appreciate everything.
Or accept everything.
Yeah, but they want more than that. They don't want you to just accept it. Look, let's face it. You accept this. You accept that this dude's going to wear a dress and chop his dick off and take hormones and live his life, right? You accept that, right?
I accept it, but would I say, yeah, I'm all for it?
But you don't appreciate it.
No, I don't, because it's just like, there's something wrong with you. I think mentally you've got some kind of an issue.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the line, you weren't raised to be, and I say this a lot about being strong enough, but I wonder if that's the right term, because, there has to be some kind of strength to go in and fucking endure this shit.
Well, the thing, and I'm just going to talk about my personal experience and the people that I've encountered in my life that who have expressed, homosexual tendencies or came out as gay or whatever. Yeah. I've often found, and I'm not a scientist in any way, shape, or form, or psychologist or anything. But one of the most common links that I found with people after getting to know them or talking to them or finding out a little bit about them and their background, there was always some kind of abuse from a child abuse, very early in their life,
right?
And that always seems to be a common thread.
Sure,
that's all I'm saying. I don't know that that's what causes anything or whatever, but it seems like very, very, very early impressions, from the time you're old enough to recollect anything, seems to shape you for life.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, unless I don't know it, I mean, I have people that have not shared that with me that I know, but, I don't know, dude. I just think that kind of what you were saying before. I think that there's a theory that you're supposed to give more of a fuck than you do. And I could give a fuck. Fuck your toaster. I really don't care. If what gets you off is fucking sticking your dick in a toaster while it cooks waffles and you burn your dick, then do it. I honestly.
Well, I'm of the same mindset.
Yeah.
The where I come into having an issue with any of this is when they flaunt it in your face and say, you'll accept this for what it is, and you go, you know what, dude, I'm not down with that. Well, you're a homophobe then.
Okay, then I am. But by those terms, and this is where I've gotten in the last 8 years, I can narrow it down to the Obama administration. And you remember this, dude, because you remember how hard I fought against Obamacare.
Yeah.
And all my fucking liberal friends couldn't wait to label me a racist.
Right.
And at first it pissed me off. At first it was like, fuck you. I got lots of black people that are in my life, in my real life.
Right.
And it was like, fuck you. you know, and they were, oh no, you're the only reason you could dare not be for Obamacare is because you fucking hate the niggers.
Right.
That was the fucking attitude
Of
that
course.
I got back. And finally, I just like, you know what? Okay, I'm a racist. My actions speak for me. But if that makes me a racist, then so fucking be it.
Sure.
And now none of these labels mean anything to me.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to change my opinion because some asshole that I don't know says I'm a homophobe, I'm a racist, I'm a bigot, I'm a xenophobe, whatever fucking words. Fuck you. You know? I don't have to appease you. I don't even have to be liked by you. In fact, I'd prefer that you don't like me because then you'll give me less attention.
Sure. Did you happen to see the movie? It's out on like Netflix or Amazon right now. I actually watched it this morning. It's called Daddy's Home.
No, I have not seen that.
It's with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
No, I haven't seen that.
I had to laugh. What? Just to give you the quick down and dirty of the premise of this movie.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell marries a lady, a divorced woman with 2 children, right?
Okay.
And he's trying to get the children to accept him as, you know, the stepdad, right?
Right.
And the kids don't accept him at first, you know, and they don't really, you know, they don't want to warm up to him or nothing. He really wants them to accept him as their dad or their stepdad or however you want to look at it. Right. And finally they get warm up to him and they accept him as, you know, part of the family now. Well, then Mark Wahlberg comes back into the picture. He's the real dad, right? He's the real biological father.
Right.
And so there's this competition between the two of them, right?
Okay.
Well, there's this scene in the movie, and I mean, it is fucking hysterical. I laughed out loud. Mark Wahlberg is kind of like a hardcore roughneck biker kind of guy.
Okay.
And he shows up at the house riding this twin V Indian motorcycle and everything,
all
this
right.
real big bike and everything.
Right.
So Mark Wahlberg's going to go take a shower, and the wife has to go to work, and he's got the bike parked in the parking, you know, in the driveway in front of the garage where she can't get her car out.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, "Hey, you're going to have to move your bike." He goes, "Here's the key. Why don't you go ahead and move it?" So Will Ferrell gets on the bike, and he doesn't know what he's doing, right?
Right.
But he doesn't want anybody to think he's a puss or anything. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I ride these bikes all the time, you know."
Sure he does.
So he starts the thing up and he throws it in gear and takes off with it, and he can't control it. And he comes around and he goes right up the front porch and into the front door, and the bike basically goes up the stairs to the top floor and flies out the window and comes down and crashes on top of his car.
Nice. Oh, there it is, right there in the chat room.
Well, anyway, the wife, yeah, that's it, exactly. That movie just cracked me up. So anyway, the wife calls a handyman to come fix the wall in the house because he crashed through the wall in the house.
All right.
And Mark's got, you hired a man to come in and fix the wall. He says, "Dude, we could just get some sheetrock and some plaster. We'll fix that up. We'll knock that out tonight." He goes, "Go up there and tell the guy to hit the road." He goes, "You know, we don't need him." So Will Ferrell goes up the stairs and to tell the guy, you know, he doesn't need him to fix the wall, and it's a black guy.
Right.
So Will Ferrell, being politically correct, he's just like, "Hey, dude, I just wanted to tell you." And the guy comes out, what do you need to tell me? And he sees he's a black guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Just wanted to wish you good luck on the job." So he comes back downstairs, and Mark Wahlberg is to go, "Well, dude, you tell him?" He goes, I just think that maybe this isn't the best time." And he goes, "Why? Because he's black?" He goes, "Just go up there and tell him to hit the road." So he goes up there and tells him, he goes, "Dude, I don't need you." He goes, "Why, did you decide to fire me because you saw I was a black guy?" He goes, "Dude, you shouldn't be so racist." So no matter what he did, he was a racist. If he fired the guy, he was a racist, and if he kept him on, he was being racist because he was black.
Right, of course.
So they basically made that point in the movie.
Right.
That no matter what you do, you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of today's world, isn't it?
Exactly. So, like I said, if he fired the guy, he's a racist. If he kept him on because he's black, he's being racist.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So there's no winning that argument at all.
There's no winning any argument at all. That's the reality of today. There's no winning.
But they did make a lot of fun of that situation. That was actually a funny movie.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's just one of those lighthearted, silly movies.
All right. Well, Will Ferrell's usually pretty decent.
Yeah, but this was pretty good.
All right.
All right. This next one here is called Classical Music Makes Boys Gay.
Yeah.
So music makes you gay.
Well, that's what Keith thinks.
All right.
I mean, you also not only grew up in that the household there, but I mean, you also grew up in metal, and which metal is a very male-dominated, testosterone-dominated world. Were you ever kind of worried about when you actually told the world that you were gonna I don't even know, honestly, this is where I don't know how to say it, but you were going to become Mina? Were you worried about telling the world that?
Of course. I was ready to, I was filled with fear. I was scared, fear was the dominating factor, I was afraid I would lose friends, family, my career, everything I worked up to, but there just came a point where I needed to serve myself and be okay with the idea of throwing it all away. Family, friends, career, whatever the fuck that means. I knew music would always be in my life. First of all, I didn't start off as being like, hard rock kind of metal punk. I grew up playing classical music. Right. So that right there should have showed my family like, I know if I had a boy and the boy, I don't know, because classical music, I don't know, it's very rare to see boys passionately into the art of the classics, and Chopin and especially in our westernized culture, you don't get too much of that. Maybe in the Eastern culture, that seems like it's kind of like in their bloodstream. Lots of Chinese and Asians growing up playing classical. That's like kind of like a forte. I studied a lot of great classical pianists, and a lot of them are Chinese or Korean or in that kind of not so many Westerners, I don't think, but but at that point I was ready to throw it all away because I was just at a serious crossroads, just feeling very suicidal, doing crazy drugs, ready to give it all up, and I got to a point where I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror anymore, and and it was just like, fuck it, I was ready to throw it all away and sacrifice everything to be myself.
What's wrong with you? Did he make you feel like playing that song? Is that what happened?
He did. That's all I could think of.
It's tough to listen to it, isn't it?
It is.
It's disturbing. Hearing a guy that's pretending he's a girl talk about boys and Chopin. It's like, what the fuck?
All right. This next one is called Shift to femininity.
Now this you're going to like. I'm going to set this one up a little bit. His premise is that everything is good because the world is shifting to what is better, which is a more feminine environment.
All right. So the pussification of America is
pussification of the world, not just America.
Right. All right.
But he's got that yin and yang weirdo Mother Earth thing going on.
All right.
This whole thing's bizarre.
All right. Let's take a listen.
Yes.
Because every time I turn around, I look at live shows. I watch shows on YouTube. I watch I'll read news clips, things like that. And it's like I said, the metal world is a very male dominated, testosterone dominated world, and to see so many positive comments, especially in this day and age when you could put the most amazing thing you've ever done on YouTube and someone's going to shit on it, but so comments these days are just out of this world, and 99% of comments that I read are always so positive and so supportive of you.
Not only am I grateful for, but it just shows me and proves to me that there is definitely a wonderful paradigm shift going on with humanity. I think people more and more, I think their hearts and souls are filling up with love and compassion. I think there's a tipping point going on where I don't know. I just think femininity is more present than it ever has been on this planet, and I think that.
I don't think that's the case. I think the case is that because of the backlash of the PC crowd, that people are just kind of keeping it to themselves. That's all it is.
Come on, it's the femininity. It's more in place than ever before.
I don't think so.
It's cosmic.
All right. He says so.
He said so. And I'm with Mina.
All right. You're going to have a sign that says that too? You're going to walk around with a sign, I'm with Mina?
Yes, of course.
I'm with her.
Yeah, I'm with her.
That's why you see so many paradigm shifts and so many people standing up to government and politicians, and Gaia is taking over again. Mother Earth, which is total feminine, female. It's taking over the hearts and minds of people again, and like
again. At what era? At what era was this prevalent?
I have no. Maybe a different. I don't know. An alternate universe.
Okay,
that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, when he says again, like it's a return to something, and it's like, well, at what point was this the rule?
Bizarro world past.
Okay. It's in the world of the upside down.
That's right.
Okay.
A lot of men in this world, a lot of men are becoming even more and more feminine, and I think it's a testament to humanity. We're going back to our roots. I don't know.
Our roots.
Our roots. Well, he'll explain that.
All right.
There's lots of changes, lots of, spiritual changes going on, I think, with a lot of people. And it's...
That's it?
That's it stopped there?
Yeah, that's where it stopped.
Oh, I must have cut it out.
All right.
He just went on and on about, it's a return to Mother Earth and shit. Whatever, dude, and how that's feminine.
All right. This next part says jerking off to him and bullying.
This is again, it'll speak for itself.
All right. Okay. Let's hear about jerking off and bullying.
All right.
I'm grateful. I feel blessed. I'm I'm happy people, more happy for them rather than really for me. Like, I can give a fuck if you love or hate me. That's not going to affect my day anymore. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm so secure within my own systems of being that, you know, I could really give a shit less who accepts me, who doesn't understand me, who calls me names. Like, I don't give a fuck. I got so much more positive things and lovely things to focus on in my life than who's not loving or accepting me. Like, I don't really give a shit at this point. You know, it hasn't been all a bed of roses for me either. I've lost many family members. I've lost many friends. I've lost, you know, a lot of people have ditched me. Friends, you know, fellow musicians, colleagues I've worked with, promoters, booking agents. I've seen throughout the years people slowly ditching me and getting away from me because, you know, I'm very aware, I'm very alert, and I know who's deeply with me and who isn't with me. And, you know, I haven't had it easy. Like, I came out and suddenly I've been accepted 100%, you know, because that hasn't been like that for me, you know. I, too, also have, you know, an army of naysayers and haters, but I don't give a shit, and I don't really focus on that. And anyway, that kind of shit fuels me, you know. Yeah. But I love the haters anyway. I send them love. If people can't accept me, that's on them. What they're really telling me is that they really can't accept themselves. They
I always like that one.
Yeah, that's such a bullshit thing.
I know.
That is 100% trying to justify in your own head that you're right and they're wrong.
Exactly.
That's all that is.
Sure. They can't accept themselves. No, they just disagree fundamentally with, you know, whatever it is, whatever your agenda is that you're pushing.
No. You just can't accept it in yourself.
Oh, okay.
And of course you know what's coming next. And just because you fear that you're gay yourself.
Right, of course.
They don't understand their own heart and soul. They don't understand their own true essence of their own life, their own meaning of their own personal here and now moments. And that's why they got to kibosh or squash or try and destroy someone else's here and now moment, because they're so full of fear and so full of hypocrisy and blasphemy themselves. And you know what? Those naysayers and those haters that are hating on me or whatever, they're probably going back home and jerking off to me, you know, of some like little explicit, you know, rated R photo that I posted maybe, or showing cleavage or whatever. Trust me, you know, 70% of all men will fuck anything that moves, you know, and they can talk the talk and they could say this or that. It's usually those people that are so disgusted by someone like me. Those are the first people that are, going online to jerk off to transsexual porn, or two guys on one girl, or menage a trois. Like, they're the first people that are thinking about sucking a lady's dick or something, you know? So, like...
Sucking a lady's dick?
They all go there, don't they? They all assume that if you're not down with gayness or transgender, that you secretly want to be gay or transgender.
Right, of course.
There's not a possibility in the world that it could be, maybe I'm just not down with it. That's impossible.
Right.
That he even listed. That's just your, what did he say? Your all your phobias or whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to come out. Just ridiculous.
The one that gets me is that's their fear.
Yeah, their fear.
Yeah.
What are you afraid of?
I've never understood it. I've known some, known or seen plenty of gay people, and it doesn't make me fear. It's just like, wonder what happened to that guy.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that goes through my mind is what happened to that guy.
Yeah. I always think, man, why would you make your life that hard?
Yeah. You saw Dirty Grandpa, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those two girls that they encounter, they have that gay black guy with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Come on, bitches. Let's go, bitches. And that Robert De Niro goes, he's like laughing. Go, what are you laughing at? He goes, God, that is so gay.
Right.
You don't think Robert De Niro was saying, I secretly want to fuck you?
No, not at all.
I don't think so.
He was saying exactly what he said.
Yeah.
That is really so gay.
Yeah. I'm also black, if you hadn't noticed. Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. Come on, bitches. Let's go get a drink, bitches.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you don't want to be around that, then that means that you're just fucking, that you want to kill gay guys.
Or you're a homophobe.
Well, if you want to be that, okay. In the term of not being for homosexuality, okay, then I'm a homophobe. Doesn't mean I can, to be a homophobe should not mean to me a man, enjoy only wanting something that doesn't have a cock. That doesn't, I don't get the whole why you need a label, I guess, is really what it is. Do whatever the fuck you want, but just don't bring it to me. Just like people that fucking, I don't know, that do other shit that, do you like monster trucks, Neely? I'm just throwing anything out there.
Yeah, sure. Periodically, sure.
That's not a good example. Would you go to a musical?
No.
Okay. Well, that doesn't mean that you hate music.
No. It's just that's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not your thing. The same with cock. You don't like cock, so you don't go after cock. Doesn't mean that you fucking hate anybody that does go after cock. Right?
As far as I know, that would be a correct assessment.
You just don't care. That's the one thing that's always... You've had friends that have fucking ugly, disgusting wives, right?
Yes, I have.
Right, of course. We all have had that. And you know what? You don't judge your friend based on their ugly, disgusting fucking wife, do you?
No.
That's their choice, and that's it.
The only thing that goes through my mind is, man, I'm glad I'm not him.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you an ugly, disgusting wife-ophobe.
Right. Or it doesn't make me secretly want an ugly, disgusting wife for myself.
No, and it doesn't make you dislike your friend less for having that. That's what's missing with this argument all the fucking time, is that if you're not for it, then you are a hater of it. And it's just not the way it is. It's fucking ridiculous.
I agree with that. Getting back to that bad grandpa or that dirty grandpa.
Yeah.
When they were at that club and he goes, I'll get the drinks. And he goes, what are you drinking there? You want some of that grape drag? You having some of that grape drag? He goes, who the fuck are you? You drinking that grape drag?
Grape drag?
I don't really give a shit about the haters. They fuel me, man. They fuel me. If I have a run-in, which I very rarely do, it just fuels me. It's like, another seed for the garden of songs that I will unleash into.
Now, what does that tell you? He says, when I have a run-in, which I very rarely do, it just tells me that a majority of people out there don't give a shit.
Yeah, they could care less.
Because if you were to watch CNN or MSNBC or one of these fake news stations, you would think that anytime a gay or a transgender went out on the street, there's a mob of white bullies out there ready to beat them up.
Right, with ball bats.
Yeah, exactly. and he's saying, whenever I have an encounter, which I rarely ever do,
right,
which means to me that this guy goes about his business every day and does his shows or goes to the store or whatever it is that he does, and people don't harass him or give him any hard time.
Right.
So basically, people just go, whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't sit there and go, faggot, whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Because he just admitted it himself that rarely ever happens.
Yeah, but he's still upset it fuels him when it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Get out of here.
Into the universe, It doesn't matter. Just don't touch me. You can say something to me. Just, don't put your finger in my face. Don't spit on me. Don't come up at me because,
There you go.
It's not very lady, but I will kick you in the fucking balls, and I'd be the first person to throw fucking down to, I bully the bullies,
Right.
I bully the fucking bullies. I don't stand up against bullying. I kick fucking bullies' teeth in. I don't, I'm one of those people. I don't just stand around at the fucking, and, I stand against bullying and I bully the fucking bullies. That's the type of person that I am. I'm a fucking warrior. I'm a survivor. I'm a soldier, and, I don't advocate violence. I don't like that whole thing, but, you step up to a motherfucker, you look out, and, I'm a New Yorker, so I'm raw. I'm real. I have nothing to hide, especially the past 10 years. I'm almost out 10 years already. And, it's like, get the fuck over it already. Get over yourselves to the people that don't understand.
All right.
The only one's not getting over it is him. No one else gives a shit.
Yeah, apparently not.
When's the last time you heard anybody giving a shit about Keith Caputo?
Well, this is the first time I've heard about him since I heard that he came out 10 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like there's major debate about him.
No.
So, anyway.
All right.
We can quit here. I mean, all the rest, it's just more of the same. It just goes on and on and on.
All right, well, we'll play one more. I'll give you your choice. We got gay porn and politicians.
Mm-hmm.
Evolving mankind outgrows politics, and vocal changes from hormone therapy.
Go with the last one.
All right. Yeah, this one definitely interests me because, once you start doing this, you're no longer, known for what it is that made you famous.
Right.
All right, so let's check this out. This is vocal changes from hormone therapy.
All right.
Like when you started the hormone therapy, were you ever, obviously you kind of said earlier that you, kind of were ready to just give everything up, but, your River Runs Red, ugly voice is a very deep voice, and, the hormone therapy is going to change your voice. Were you ever worried about losing that voice? Were you ever worried about losing your singing voice, period?
Well, that's just a fucking stupid fear of people, like losing my...
Now, why is that a stupid fear? That's just a rational question.
That is just a stupid fucking fear, dude. Just stop it.
All right. I mean, I thought that. All right.
I agree.
It's just like, well, when you start your therapy, your hormone therapy, you're like going to change something that it's going to change you from what you're known for.
Right.
So how are you going to continue on doing what you're doing without changing that whole dynamic?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
voice. No, my voice comes from a place of wisdom. You know, it's deeper than the sense of the physical. I'm on vibrational terms with my voice. My voice is a great big mystery. My voice will forever change, hormones or no hormones. I just did this new Life of Agony record. I'm more badass than I ever fucking was. I still have a deep voice, you know. I'm a singer. I'm a vocalist. That's what I do. And vocalists have deep voices. I have deep vocal cords. I actually, since I've transitioned, or have been transitioning for almost 10 years, yeah, my voice has changed a lot. But because of the joys that I've been experiencing throughout my life, like, you know, it's a great pleasure to express myself more than it ever has been, you know. The quality of my voice just got much, much better, you know. I've done a ton of work after River Runs Red and Ugly. You know, I was 18 when I was 19 when I sang on that record. You know, I'm 43 now. If people don't expect me to change, they better get a fucking brain transplant, okay? Because, you know, 6 months from now, I'm gonna, and what other people don't also too understand is that, you know, my voice has been utilizing my body for years and years and years. You know, I have a very different vocal approach when I do solo records. I have a very different vocal approach when I do my Neptune Darlings project. It's a different spirit when I go into the studio and lay down vocals for Life of Agony. I'm a chameleon in this game. I don't have a set tone. Yes, people are gonna. I definitely have a signature, authentic vocal, and people know when they hear my vocal, they know it's me. Whether it's on River Runs Red or A Place Where There's No More Pain, or you know, Keith Caputo's Died Laughing, or Mina Caputo's As Much Truth as One Can Bear. Throughout the years and days, a month from now, I'm going to be a different vocalist than my next record that I do is going to be completely different from A Place Where There's No More Pain.
Did you get all that?
I did.
My body's been using my voice for years, or
right.
My voice has been using my body for years.
Sure.
The fuck does that mean?
He's just a vessel, man.
He, like I said at the beginning, man, he's a strange cat.
He is. He's an odd guy.
He is an odd guy. Hey, good luck to him. I sure hope he didn't fucking let me down with the new LOA. I can't wait for that.
Sure.
Personally, I don't give a shit if he's wearing a dress or not. Just play some good songs.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So is that going to ruin the listening experience for you? Say, man, this guy just turned into a freak. I can't listen to this now.
No, because I've met him before, and he's always been kind of weird. I never cared. Dude, if we start, and we've talked about this before, if we start judging our music by what people think or say or whatever, then we're going to be listening to nothing.
Right.
We'll be down to no music. You know, I mean, honestly, I could give a shit what a musician, just like their political stance when they, you know, when Ted Nugent or Pearl Jam or whoever goes off on their political rants, that doesn't make me fucking throw my records away or my MP3s or nothing.
Right.
I could care less. You know what? I would never give anybody that's an entertainer that much weight in my life to where if they don't think the way I do, that I can no longer deal with their music or their acting or whatever. That to me is dumb.
So you won't call for the police to shut them down or anything?
Fuck no. Are you kidding me? They are what... Look, let's just call it the real that it is. They are trained monkeys, and I am grinding the organ.
Right.
So fucking do your little dance, and I'll throw a couple dollars at you, and that's how it works. That's the end of their value to me. I have no value at all to Mina Caputo's fucking sex change. I have no value at all to Bruce Springsteen hating Donald Trump. I have no value at all to Ted Nugent hating the Democratic Party. I don't care.
Sure.
You know, I still listen to Michael Jackson music, even though he raped kids. I don't care. It just doesn't. He didn't rape my kid, and I like his fucking songs. You know, so fuck it.
Yeah.
I honestly, none of these guys have any more power to me. I fucking, again, Dave Holland never raped anybody I knew, so I'll keep listening to Judas Priest because I don't give a fuck about that. No musician has enough value to me to make me change what I listen to based on what they do when they're not in front of a microphone doing their little fucking song for me.
Sure.
You know, and I think you're pretty much the same way, aren't you?
I am the same way. I don't give two shits what other people do.
Yeah, do whatever you want. Just fucking entertain me. That's what I'm giving you my way too much money for.
Exactly.
You know, so.
All right, well, let's play a couple of tunes, and we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show.
All right.
All right, so since we just heard from Mina, Keith, Caputo, whatever, I thought I'd play some Life of Agony.
All right.
Thought I'd play Underground.
It's a good one.
Yep. All right, here's Life of Agony exclusively here
on your classic metal show.